So UFC 309 has just taken place, and this is my reaction to the entire card. So there were 12 fights in total, 5 fights ending by finish. Let's start off with the main event in Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic. Now look, I wish I could come on here and shit all over this performance, call Jon Jones a clown, he's not the GOAT, he's shit, etc. But Jon Jones is just... he is good. I mean, yes, Stipe Miocic was old, out of his prime, slow, decrepit, but Jon Jones looked good in there. I mean, I'm not going to say that was his best performance, but it was a good performance from Jon Jones. The speed of Jon Jones is deteriorating, but that is just natural. The guy's getting older, plus he's a lot heavier than what he used to be. He's fighting in the heavyweight division now, but what a finish over Stipe Miocic. I honestly thought Jon Jones was going to get the finish in and around the first round when he started landing those elbows. Now, my prediction for this matchup was that Jon Jones would beat Stipe Miocic by either TKO or submission inside 2 rounds. To be honest, I watched it back again before I made this video. Stipe Miocic was a lot more competitive in my opinion than what I thought he was actually going to be. I thought he was going to get absolutely smoked in there. And I mean, I'm not going to lie to you, Jon Jones was winning that fight. I'm not going to try and say Stipe was winning, but he was a lot more live in the fight than what I thought he was going to be. Jon Jones working his leg kicks, landed some nice strikes on the feet as well, and in round 3, he landed that spinning body kick. That was perfection. I'm sorry, it sounds like I'm glazing Jon Jones. I don't mean to be, but he looked good last night, and I shit on the guy constantly. I feel like we have to be honest here, give him the respect, give him the credit where credit is due, and that spinning back kick was perfect. Just took the air, just took the life out of Stipe Miocic. He went down, and it was only a matter of time. Stipe Miocic, this is the end of it for him. He did retire. In my opinion, he's arguably the greatest UFC heavyweight of all time. There are a couple of other guys you could say, like I think Francis Ngannou could be up for debate as one of the greatest UFC heavyweights of all time. If you just look at the guy's resume, maybe he doesn't have the same amount of title defenses as a Stipe Miocic does, but he's got a stacked resume, some heavyweight legends on there, but I'd probably give it to Stipe. Stipe, why have I got the hiccups? But yeah, let's talk about Jon Jones. What's next for him? Stipe, he's retired. He's going to live out the rest of his life as a fireman. Fair play to him. The fact that this guy was a heavyweight champion, I'm assuming he was making millions when he was the heavyweight champion, especially in the DC matchups, in the Ngannou fights, and I'm sure he got paid a hefty penny for this Jon Jones fight, and he's still a fireman. Fair play to the guy. Jon Jones, though, he's teasing us. The fucker is teasing us. At the end there, he didn't retire. Jon Jones did not retire, and he did not give up the heavyweight title. Now, Jon Jones did try and ask him about Tom Aspinall. You did see Tom Aspinall, the UFC, cut to him in the crowd. We seen the reaction. Jon Jones then kind of swerved what's next for him to talk about other things in the interview. And then in the post-fight press conference, I want to talk about this. Dana White has said that he will not make Jon Jones versus Alex Pereira. So if Jon Jones is going to want to continue to fight, the UFC, it seems like, and thankfully they're doing it, they're trying to corner Jon Jones into taking the Tom Aspinall fight, because Dana White has said that he will not make the Alex Pereira fight unless Alex Pereira and Jon Jones hound him for that fight. And I mean, if you're Alex Pereira, I get it's a big payday, but surely Glover Teixeira and his team are going to say to him, like, especially at this point in his career where, yes, Pereira is getting up there in age now, but he's still got a lot more to give in his career than what Jon Jones does. It's kind of like, why would you sacrifice like the streak you're on, the fan base you're building, to go in there and ultimately lose to Jon Jones within 2 rounds? Honestly, I genuinely do believe that. Pereira will not be able to stop Jon Jones' takedowns. He's got nasty ground and pound when he gets you down there. Plus, he is a threat with submissions. I think it's a horrible matchup for Alex Pereira. I don't think it's what's going to happen next. I hope it's not. I hope it is Tom Aspinall. Now, it has to be. And Jon Jones did say that he would be willing to fight Tom Aspinall. When he negotiates with the UFC, he wants, in his words, fuck you money. So it seems like Jon Jones is doing what he's always done when it comes to fighting these opponents that are of a big risk to him, like Ngannou, where he's more than likely going to try and price himself out of this fight. We've seen him do that with the Ngannou fight. He priced himself out. He asked for too much money. I'm hoping, though, the UFC realise how big this fight is and realise that maybe if you overpay Jon Jones for this fight, if Tom Aspinall is able to beat Jon Jones, you have got a new megastar on your hands. A massive, massive name. If Tom Aspinall beats Jon Jones, he's arguably the face of the UFC then behind Conor McGregor. McGregor's always going to be the real deal, the star of the show of the UFC, if we're being honest. But yeah, I think the UFC should just match whatever number Jon Jones wants. Ideally, Jon Jones doesn't go completely overboard, but I would love for the UFC to sit down with Jon Jones. Jon Jones makes a ridiculous offer and they just go, fucking take it. I want this fight. We want this fight. And see, to be honest with you, I do think Tom Aspinall will beat him. I think Tom Aspinall is just too much for Jon Jones on the feet at this point in his career. I don't like Jon Jones striking defense. I do think he can be caught. I think Tom Aspinall is a bigger puncher than what Stipe Miocic is, and he's a lot faster than what Stipe is. And Stipe did land at points in this matchup. I hope this is the fight that happens. I think Jon Jones maybe is slowly coming round to the fact of he will fight Tom Aspinall. And you know what? It's a close fight. I can see Jon Jones winning it because we don't know how good Tom Aspinall's grappling defense is, his wrestling defense. Jon Jones is a great wrestler. He's very malicious, if that's the right word. His attacks are very thought out. You know, Jon Jones's fight IQ is his superpower in there, in my opinion. That's what makes him stand out over the rest. I really want to see that fight. It's going to be such a high-level matchup, and it's a matchup that Jon Jones can win. Could you imagine if Jon Jones goes in there and just smokes Tom Aspinall? I mean, what do you say then? Or vice versa, Tom Aspinall goes in there and smokes Jon Jones? Megastar on your hands. Now, Jon Jones did say, which kind of gives you an insight into the guy's mindset. I know I'm rambling on here, but he said that he wants so much money, so it doesn't matter whether he wins, loses, or draws. He's well compensated. So Jon Jones, with how he's conducted himself this week, in the way he's talking, he knows what this Aspinall fight brings. He knows the dangers. And I think Jon Jones knows that if Tom Aspinall gets in there with him, it's not looking good, bruv. Yeah, but overall, good performance from Jon Jones. Can't really critique it. Let's move on to the co-main event, which was Oliveira Michael Chandler 2. I want to start off by saying how this one fight of the night for one round is crazy to me, because I'm going to be brutally honest, this fight was boring. In the fifth round, there was a bit of excitement. Very, very different from first time round. I want to start off by saying, because there's a lot of things I want to talk about with this fight, what is Michael Chandler's game plan? Like, when they're strategizing and preparing for this fight, what is the guy's game plan? What is he going out there to do? Do you know, he's not, like, I don't know, maybe if I'm just talking shit here, but it doesn't even seem like he's as aggressive as on the front foot as what he normally was in this matchup. Obviously, it might have to do with ring rust. The guy's been out for almost 2 years, but even outside of that, like, what is his game plan? What has his team built the plan around? Like, I didn't see any strategy into how they were going to try and beat Oliveira. There was nothing. He was just content to lose. I mean, Oliveira, very, very different approach. Is Oliveira questioning his own durability and his chin now? Because, yes, he won four out of the 5 rounds. I think Michael Chandler obviously nearly put him away in the 5th round, but Oliveira dominated that fight in there. In the first round, it was very boring. Not much happened. And then we were able to see... Now, he did land some nice low kicks on Michael Chandler. Oliveira did do a good job staying on the front foot, backing Michael Chandler up. But this is what I mean. Like, Michael Chandler would just be backed up, not try and resist being backed up. Be backed up against the cage, knowing that as soon as his back touches the cage, Oliveira is going to work to get to his back, and Oliveira done that time and time again. There was a lot of just stalling in this fight, in my opinion. Really the big thing to talk about. Fair play to Michael Chandler, by the way, because Oliveira was on his back for quite some time in there, and he done a good job of defending the choke. Michael Chandler is the biggest cheat probably in all of UFC history. The cage grabs, the glove grabbing, the back of the head strikes in round 5. How the referee didn't step in for that is actually insane. It wasn't even as if, like, Michael Chandler was just trying to hit him in the back of the head. That was it. Michael Chandler was trying to hit him in the back of the head. And I mean, if you're Michael Chandler, I mean, why would he stop doing that to Oliveira when he's trying to get a win? He knows he's 4 rounds down. It's up to the referee, but it is dirty on behalf of Michael Chandler. Look, I thought Oliveira looked very patient in there, very composed, and he'd done a good job and done what he needed to do. I don't see him beating Islam Makhachev or Arman Tsarukyan, to be honest. I don't see him becoming champion again. There's nothing that I seen in that matchup there that I would take away and go, he'll do that against Islam. He's not going to out-grapple Islam, and he's not going to out-grapple Arman Tsarukyan. And the thing with Oliveira, when he gets in there with these high-level grapplers, is they will take him down, and he will just let them lie in his guard and pass his guard and stuff like that. That's a problem with Oliveira. I want to know what happened to Michael Chandler's takedown defense. Sorry, it was non-existent tonight. Obviously, in the 5th round, he caught Oliveira. Oliveira was also saying about Michael Chandler eye poking him in there. You could see Oliveira had an issue with his eye. Even in round 1, he was like tapping on his eye. But again, Oliveira just lost the concentration in there in the 5th round. I mean, the guy was winning comfortably. Caught by Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler done what he needed to do, empty the tank, and came up short. Oliveira didn't call out Conor McGregor, which I'm surprised about, to be honest. I thought whoever won this was going to call him out. Michael Chandler did call him out. Now, look, I kind of feel like Michael Chandler, he's on a 3-fight losing streak now. He's lost to Gaethje, Poirier, and Oliveira. Yes, they're 3 big names, 3 ranked opponents. The only reason I would say yes for McGregor to take this fight now is because I believe he beats Michael Chandler. I know we haven't seen McGregor in a while. I know he didn't look particularly amazing in the Poirier 3 matchup, but I think he beats Michael Chandler. I'm pretty confident in that. How this fight won fight of the night, though, I'll never understand. Can I be honest? If it wasn't for Jon Jones finishing Stipe, this card was shit beyond belief. Let's move on to Bo Nickel, Paul Craig. I've been yapping for 12 minutes. Bo Nickel, the hype's dead, in my opinion. You shouldn't be going all 3 rounds with Paul Craig on the feet. Not good enough. I know he is kind of early on in his career, but when he's talking about fighting the likes of Hamzat and, you know, when he's really bigging himself up, which every fighter has to do, you have to be confident. That performance just wasn't it. Paul Craig on the feet, I'll be brutally honest, this pen is probably a more dynamic striker than what Paul Craig is. I just didn't rate it. What's next for Bo Nickel? I feel like you make the jump now. Let's stop fucking about. Let's see how good this guy really is. Let's put him in there in a matchup where, you know, maybe he's the underdog or it's a pick 'em fight. Give him Jack Hermanson. Just put him in the fucking rankings. Sink or swim. Let's stop doing these bullshit fights. Paul Craig was a step in the right direction, though, I will give them that. But now, let's make the other leap. Stop putting him on main cards. Maybe if you do a Jack Hermanson fight, I don't mind that being on the main card. But he's not main card material, in my opinion. I don't even think he's that big of a name to warrant being on the main card either. Let's stop doing that. Let's get him in the rankings. Vivian Ahuraho, I can't say her name. You know what I'm trying to say anyway. Won a decision. I don't want to talk about this fight. It's pretty boring. Mauricio Ruffy, I expect him more, to be honest. I think he's going to be fraud checked pretty soon. Fraud check might not be a good word to use. I think he's going to be knocked out soon. I think when he steps up in competition, the shit that he's doing against these lower level guys isn't going to work against the elite guys, and I think he's going to get knocked out. Jonathan Martinez, I don't know what happened to that guy. He froze. Good win for Marcus McGee. Chris Weidman, Eric Anders didn't take place. I don't know why, so someone can let me know in the comments. Jim Miller getting a first round submission over Damon Jackson. I did pick Jim Miller to win. I thought it was going to be like a decision, a very boring matchup, but Damon Jackson just handed Jim Miller a win. Nice to see. What else do I want to talk about? Why did I say Jonathan? Deniz, my fucking eyes. I don't know. I'm tired. I haven't went to sleep yet. Deniz got beat by Tybura. I'm fucking yapping now. Tybura beat Deniz, another heavyweight prospect, ruined. Fair play to Tybura. This guy actually isn't as bad as what I think people let on. Mickey Gall lost in round 1 by KO. I think this is the last time we see him in the UFC. Alban Elliott got a good win, and Veronica Hardy lost to Eduarda Mora. I didn't watch this fight, I'm not going to lie to you, so I can't really comment on it. Overall, UFC 309 was okay. If it wasn't for Jon Jones with that finish, the fight would have been really, really dog shit. Let me know your opinions in the comments below. And as always, like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And I'll see you again in the next one.